Welcome back, friends, to Build a Lot Acres. If you're new to the channel, my name's Case, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at the Chicago Electric Chainsaw Sharpener. Stay tuned.
One small town New England family living out their adventures, one day at a time, sharing for the whole world to see. This is Build a Lot Acres. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video.
So I think it's important to note something. I only review tools that I personally have used and bought with my own money. I'm not getting paid by the companies to review these tools. I'm not getting the tools given to me. I buy them with my own money that I earned, just like anyone else would. And I'm going to give you an honest review. If I think it's a piece of junk, I'm going to tell you. If I think it works good, I'm going to tell you that too. So let's get into it. All right, so I bought my first chainsaw about 20 years ago. It was a Steel MS460, which I actually still have and use to this day. You're actually going to see it later in this video. I have 4 chainsaws, and from the beginning, since I bought my first one about 20 years ago, I've been sharpening them all by hand this whole time. And I've long thought it would be nice to get an easier way to sharpen it. So here we are. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So it's from Harbor Freight. It's a Chicago Electric, which I believe is a Harbor Freight brand only. It's $29, and it comes with an 1/8-inch grinding wheel, which they say will do 1/4-inch chain, 3/25 chain, 3/8 chain. I believe they do make bigger wheels, thicker wheels, I should say, so you can do bigger chain like 404. I believe they also make a thicker grinding wheel so you can grind the rakers down. Now, I'm sorry I didn't do an unboxing, but I did set it up. It's really not much to set up. There's not a lot of parts. The only thing that isn't set up from the factory, this cable you got to push through here and then put this center nut on, which is the clamp to hold the chain tight when you're sharpening, and then the big nut in the bottom that holds this whole assembly in, you got to put on. So those two pieces, this big nut underneath, and then this cable that goes to the bicycle handle with this nut. Everything else is already there. All right, so like I said, it comes mostly assembled. There's only a couple things you got to do. There are 4 mounting holes, so you can mount it to a bench, a sawhorse like I have, a rolling cart, whatever you want. I just used 2 heavy-duty screws. Some of the basic parts, there's a turn knob on each side. So as you put the chain in, so let me put the chain in so everything makes a little more sense as we go through it. So this little stopper goes to the back of the tooth to hold it in place. And this clamp is activated by this bicycle handle, which holds it in place as you grind. Now there is a height adjustment on the grinder, which is done by this knob here. It's going to hit this plastic piece and it can only go so far. So you want to adjust that so that the grinding wheel stops right above the actual chain and gets all of the tooth. So that's basically it. The grinder has a degree setting from 0 to 35 each direction. Most chains are going to be 30 degrees is the angle of the cut. So that's what we're going to set ours to. And let's try it out. All right, so we got it set to 30 degrees. There's a knob underneath. You got to tighten to hold it in place. We're going to make sure our heights look good. Now you want it just to touch the tooth, so you can adjust this back and forth, the stopper, to hold the tooth in place. So that's looking pretty good. You're just going to hit the power on the back. That's all there is to it. can also move it by hand. You don't have to use these knobs, so it's up to you. Alright, so I think you guys get the basic idea. If you wanted to do the other teeth, because you're going to have teeth angled both ways, just loosen the knob, turn it to 30 degrees in the other direction, tighten it up. Now you can do the opposing teeth. So you can do a 20-inch loop or a 24-inch loop in about 10 minutes, which isn't bad. You could probably do a 16 or an 18-inch chain in 8 to 9 minutes. So it really doesn't take all that long once you get used to it. You might even be able to do it quicker than that once you get really efficient with it. But I was a little skeptical at first, probably like a lot of people are. I didn't know if it was going to work good. And I'll tell you, boy, oh boy, does it do a good job. Let's go out in the wood yard and see how sharp the chain is. right, so you saw me do the 5100 Dolmar and the 460 steel. The steel has a 25-inch bar. The Dolmar has a 16-inch bar. I mean, all in all, I would highly recommend it. For $29, what can you really lose? I mean, if you have a commercial outfit and you're doing dozens and dozens of chains a day, yeah, I'd probably get something a little better, a little higher end. But for your average person, even me, I burn 8 cords a year. I cut all my own wood from trees. So I do a lot of cutting. I have a lot of chains. I have 4 saws, at least 2 or 3 chains for each saw. So I have at least a dozen chains, I would say. And this just does really a nice job, and I would highly recommend it. That's it for today's video, friends. See you next time.